Alright, howdy folks. Today we're going to be working on my little John Deere D140. We had a problem with the battery. What I should have done this winter is disconnected the battery, pulled it out, and put it in the trickle charge in the garage. But what happened was, we get busy here, we forget. So the battery had a tendency to weep a little bit, so it got some electrolyte and battery fluid across the top of the battery, which gives you a couple problems there. You have a discharge of the battery because you get electron flow between the posts. You also get eventually this here. Hopefully you can see this. Let me see. So what happened was you get the battery acids and everything start to get up in a capillary action and get up these wires, and it acts like a cancer. It gets in there, and like I fixed this a couple of years ago, cleaned up the terminals and everything, put new terminals on, but once that starts, it's almost impossible to get that to stop. So eventually you're going to have a problem. We probably would have got another season out of it if I disconnected the battery, but we're going to change this out. So normally I'd make a new one, but I just for ha-has, I looked up on the interweb, and I found this one, and it was only about $4 or $5. It wasn't much. So I'm like, heck, I'm just gonna order it and swap it out. I'm still gonna have to repair this wire here, make a new one, put a new terminal on here, but not a big deal, and get the battery back in here and get her going. And in the meantime, after we get done with that, we'll probably sharpen the blade and change the oil on this machine, get it ready for the season. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is take this old wire off here. So let's see, we're going to just slide these off. I just got a little 7/16 socket and ratchet here. Hopefully nothing breaks. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if you see that. Let's see if I can check these connections while I'm here. Hopefully these wires ain't brittle. These connectors. Actually, that ain't bad. I just seen a little stuff there, but it ain't bad. Alright, so I'm gonna lower the battery in there. Okay. So we had it up on the trickle charger. I didn't even put it on a regular charger. The trickle was able to bring it back to life. Hopefully it's still good. I did not load test the battery. Let's see what happens. Oh, we do got to get this bolt out of there, which I actually meant to do before, but not a big deal. Just gonna need another, probably a pair of small channel locks or something. These battery terminal pliers, they're the best, man. This orange handle pair, been using these for 40 something years. All right, that's moving. Just a little bit tough to get a bite and a swing, but it's going. So you could see that this used to be a 7/16 nut, and you could see how the battery acid really does a job on that. Of course, this stupid thing's in my way. That's all right. Let's see. We'll get it off. We'll switch sides, so to use the smaller pliers here. In the beginning, I had a little better bite, which is fine. Okay. Now we got to get this little bolt out of here. Sometimes you got to drill these little suckers out too. But all we need to do is try and free it up. There we go. Usually once they get going, they free right up. A lot of fighter jets going over these days. Putting the shiny side down. I had gotten some battery terminal protector, which I'll spray on these at some point when I get a chance, when I find where I put it. Alright, I gotta go find my little wire brush here. Just shine them up a bit. Make a good contact. I'll clean all this off after. A little better. Alright, so I have some new battery bolts. So I always connect the positive first. I see a lot of guys doing it opposite. But if you connect the ground first, a lot of times you could create more of a spark by reversing that. Believe me, I've seen it. Worked in this industry for most of my life. I made it through 52 years and still got 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes. Okay, that ain't perfect, but that covers that. So now before we clean and hook up the ground, we're gonna make sure this fits. Oh, I thought I was gonna have to put a new wire on, but this is looking good. It's funny, I got all my wires and connectors and solder and stuff out just for this, and I don't have to do that repair. That is just fine, because that saves plenty of time. So let's get our tools off of here, and then we're gonna fix this ground side. Okay, so I got my wire brush, and you can see that this silver connector has turned coppery color, and that's because of the oxidation of the metal with the battery acid and everything. So you shine them up, get as much of that junk off of here as you can. You want as good a contact as possible. Sometimes I use an air tool for this part, but this machine here is going to end up being a spare machine. And this is the thing that I see with a lot of people is, yeah, I mean, even we make mistakes. We forget to, you know, do things, little preventive things. But when things do break or need a little maintenance, you got to be able to repair them. You got to learn how to do things properly. So now, oh, this is a different size, I believe. Looks like a tree 8 or 10 millimeter. So I got my assortment of battery bolts there. I got a couple different manufacturers, but what I'm getting at is this will be easier from the other side, but I don't want to move the camera if I don't have to. So now that I have, oh, is that not gonna fit? It's probably 10 mil. Yeah, let me get a 10 mil. Most of these things are metric. You gotta love the metric wrench sets. They A lot of times they'll skip like an 11 millimeter. Actually, this is working out without the second wrench, so that's fine. Nice tight connection, not too tight. Let me grab me a sip of coffee. And now this is where you can laugh at me if it don't start. Let me move the camera away. Just back it up a little bit. So you gotta choke it. You got plenty of gas. Gonna have to maybe check it for spark. Let's see, I have a spark tester right here. So I keep a lot of these tools in my truck now, because we're always going someplace. Yep, I got spark. So it might have flooded a little bit. Might have to constipate it or something. I do smell a little gas, but we might cheat start this one. Let's check this air filter, make sure no mice got in here. That happens too. Sometimes you could just let them sit a little bit. Or you could pull the plugs. Filter ain't too bad. That was changed last year. I got some ether around here somewhere, but I'm just going to give it a sniff of. I mean, doesn't necessarily help a flooded condition, but sometimes you could cheat start them. See? Make sure to. Alright, we might have a fuel problem here. Battery problem was number one, now a fuel problem. Okay, well, we know she runs. I know I got some fuel in there. I did not put fresh fuel in, which would be wise to do. Alright, I gotta see if I can find my fuel filters. But here's one right here. There's fuel in the filter, which is a good sign. And we could have a little issue with our pump. That's a possibility. Of course, shut the camera off for a second and it starts. Started right up. That's how it happens, I guess. It's running pretty good. Needs a little cleaning. Needs an oil change. My guess it just got a little flooded. Just got a little flooded. No big deal. It's running nice. Alright, so that's it for this for now. We'll get some fresh gas in there. We'll change the oil, sharpen the blades, and that'll be it. Ready for the season. Get some air in the tires. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching.